Dadasphere Chats is an offshoot of Dadasphere, which is a platform where African women share our stories in our voices and in our own words. Welcome to Dadasphere Chats. So, Elaine Nasieku spoke very eloquently about mental health and a situation in her family that actually led her into depression and anxiety. Let's watch the clip.
It was difficult for me. That's when depression hit. I always just seesawed through emotions. Today I was happy, tomorrow I was sad. But that time, it was easy for that to just sink into depression. I couldn't identify with anything. My life was not my life. My work performance went down. I didn't want to talk to my friends. And mental illness, people don't understand, is an actual illness.
You're probably wondering why we have men on the set. First, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Where do we start? Eric, go first.
All right. Thanks for having me, Valentine. This is lovely. I'm talking to women. Hi, women. Which camera captures women? I love women. Hello, women. So I am a conversationalist, and I'm glad to be here.
Mm-hmm. That's it? You're not going to say years of experience in media and events and all of this? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Sour. Ronald?
I'm Ronald Teach, a coach, and also the speech coach for Dadasphere, and also glad to be talking to women.
Ronald's actually the first person who called Dadasphere a healing space. Me, I thought we were doing TED Talks for women. Mm-hmm. And then this guy's like, Valentine, this is bigger. It's a healing space.
Oh, wonderful.
Settle in.
Yeah, the tears, the tissues.
Yeah.
You should have seen.
Yes. Women come to Dadasphere, they share their stories, there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of freedom coming out of sharing things that have hurt you and trauma and all that. And then people keep asking, and then Ndugusphere, Kakasphere, yes. When is it? Yes. And we had a conversation on K24 about men's mental health. Yes. And as I was doing my research, I was like, and yeah, men are in trouble.
Yeah.
Men are in trouble.
It emanates in part about how men are brought up. Mm-hmm. As I've said severally, boys are told not to cry, to man up, you know. Mm-hmm. So you have to be stoic. Somebody smacks your face, you don't cry. No, mm-hmm. That's for bitches. Can I say bitches?
Yes, we're online.
So you know, you have to suck it up, and so then they bring that about into their adult relationships. Mm-hmm. So the woman would ask in a relationship, what's going on with you? Nothing.
Yes.
Because they've been sort of made to believe mm-hmm. that stoicism is manly.
Oh, okay? The strong silent type.
You have to be strong. Yes, your mother's died, but don't weep. I remember just a personal story quickly. My mother passed on about 3 years ago. Some elders would come around and say, you have to show strength. You have to show strength. Because you have the elder brothers or sisters, so don't cry. Of course, I wasn't crying, but that they were telling me that.
So did you feel you can't cry?
No, I wailed enough because she passed on when I was in South Africa. So I flew from Cape Town wailing, so I wailed enough. Cried all the way from Cape Town, in Johannesburg, Nairobi. I was crying the whole flight.
Okay.
So by the time I was here, I'd cried enough. So men are told, don't cry. Don't show any weakness.
Can you imagine a man sitting next to you on the plane just wailing?
Oh, one of the air hostesses was very kind. She moved me from coach to business class, which was empty, so that I could cry properly.
Okay.
So I just had it. I bawled. So I just went all out. Bless her heart. I never got to find out who she was, but she really did me good. All of a sudden, you're 30. A woman is telling you, you rarely express yourself. I don't know what's going on with you. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for 30 years. My mother told me I shouldn't show emotions. My father told me I shouldn't show emotions. The society said I shouldn't talk. Heck, my sisters, who are now feminists on Twitter, said I shouldn't show emotions, right? Yes. So it builds up and becomes a bigger problem. Okay. And then if I come around and you're telling me I'm depressed or I have anxiety, or I'm stressed and you need me to speak, I don't understand that language.
So, but we're looking at the numbers. Suicide rates are very high, and this is a global issue amongst men. Yes. What's your take on that? Like, why don't you guys talk? He's explained that. Is that really all there is?
It's exactly what he said. We grow up mirroring other men. Other men don't express, and so we bottle. And just like a pressure cooker, it reaches one point whereby we implode or explode. And so at one point, either we internally we implode and we say, I'm going to hang myself, or we explode and we slap somebody, hack somebody.
Yes,
Yes.
and we're seeing this.
And we're seeing
women
this.
being hacked, people being killed, violence in relationships.
Yes.
It feels like it's at a peak, like things are getting worse. I actually think it's because of social media, things are more reported.
Yes.
So I don't think it's a new situation, this violence against women and domestic violence. I think it's always been there. It's just now getting more reported.
Very true.
How do we get you to talk?
By first call, stop calling us trash.
Boy.
Men are trash. No, I'm kidding.
Fair,
I know men are
fair,
trash.
fair. We do say things like that. Men are dogs, men are trash. Okay,
yes.
fair.
So I think this is not a solution we could get from having one conversation, but it's a good thing we are talking. But I think charity ought to begin at home. Men from a very tender age, and I'm glad you're raising a son, you need to tell them, or your son, that it's okay to express emotions. There is nothing wrong with expressing how you feel. If you feel angry, feel it. If you feel upset, if you feel like crying, cry.
Okay.
You are a human being. We are all human beings, you know?
Yes. And also to identify those emotions.
Yes.
Sometimes you're feeling things and you have
Yes,
no words
absolutely.
to say, I feel this.
Also, we need to train men to be responsible about their actions. You know, these blame games. Oh, it's my dad, like the lady. When I say what's her name, the one who just
Inasieku.
You know, the way she was talking about her dad having been absent, and now her birth certificate was, you know, blank on the dad's side. So men also need to come from a place of forgiveness. I feel, because a lot of the things I've dealt with that were personal and hurt me in my life, I just forgave them and let go. Sometimes you had a dad who didn't have their name on your birth certificate who died.
Which is exactly what happened.
Yes, so
with
and then you
Nasieku, yes.
cannot square things out with them, and then you live with bitterness. So it helps that you should forgive yourself. Take it upon yourself that, look, this is a responsibility I incurred by being in this situation. I didn't put myself through this situation, but I choose to move forward.
Okay.
Okay, and forgive myself. And that change comes with acceptance. I also want to say this. You need to associate with other men. Like if there is a guy you look up to, and you can email them or call them or attend their conferences, please.
Does that work?
It does
Do you
work.
have to sign no homo? Like at the end of it?
You really, because women naturally are good at this. You guys, if somebody broke your heart, in moments' notice, 6 of your girlfriends will be here cuddling you and giving you wine and calling this guy all manner of names.
Yes.
I always knew he was a donkey. I knew he was a donkey. And then he just be there crying. But men, I remember calling a friend of mine once and said my relationship ended, and he just like, hey, you guys, where are you? Are you also stuck in traffic? He just didn't know what to say.
Just moved
Oh
on.
my God, completely didn't acknowledge.
Didn't acknowledge. It was just
Have you
like,
dumped him as a friend?
no, well, that's how men mostly
Amma
relate.
downgraded him to an acquaintance.
That's how men, because they don't know what to do with emotions, but women are so present.
Okay. So what can men do for each other?
I think first is men should take responsibility. I think it's beautiful that women want to help, but the responsibility falls on the men.
Amen. I'm so happy you've said that.
I don't think as a single mother you can do a bit, but the real people who can make a difference is the men. And unless the men stand up and actually begin to define manhood, what manhood should look like, I believe, yes, you can do your bit, but that's 30%. Raising a man, raising a boy, really, he mirrors the other men he sees. And so it's upon the men to actually step up and define what manhood is. Women are very vocal, and so they've been vocalizing how they feel. They've been saying, you men are this, you men should speak up, you men. And so it's been women giving opinions. But where are the voices of the men? And I think that's the part whereby I think the role a woman can play is to encourage the men, the system of the men, the cycle of the men who the son sees, to be different. And I think it's just, and allow them, give them space. I know you have vested, you love us, and so you want to tell us how it should be.
And we're so attracted to you when you speak.
Yeah.
Like men who speak their hearts, their minds,
Yeah.
they are so attractive to women. That silent stoic type, maybe there's a woman who was attracted to that at some point, but now I think we're over it. Even now when you watch romantic comedies, the guys are fungua in roho, they're talking more.
Yeah, but I think
We're attracted to that.
let the men own it. No, don't define what the new manhood should look like. Let the men define what the new manhood should. It's like how everyone says you must be tall, dark, and handsome. so that you can be attractive, What if you're fat? What if you're pot belly, I mean, everyone's told dark and handsome. Women are defining what masculine beautiful is. But really, let men define.
Feminist to Meskia. We stop creating men in the image we want.
Yes, and let men be men. Let them define what their version of real manhood is, not what they've been told, but what they would like. And so they can own it. When they own it, then that is real. That will stick. And that is grounded.
Okay, that's a tall one.
Yes.
That is a very tall one. So you want us as women to let you figure out your own version of masculinity, whatever. So we don't ask questions along the way.
Encourage. I think it's good to have the support. Like my wife supports me in my way of being a man. But I define, and of course I do consult. But when I define it, I own it.
Sometimes it makes us nervous. I've had this conversation with a lot of women. Men, you guys want space. That's your number one request in relationships. Yes. Am I wrong? You want
all
space.
Men. Again, not all men.
Not all men. But it's a common request. It's a common. We can't deny this, can we? It's a common request. You want space. Frequently, that looks like when a guy says space, it's another woman. That's what plays in our heads. Yeah. We don't imagine that you're sitting somewhere in a room by yourself.
No.
A lady once asked me a question. I was speaking at an event called the Girlfriend Confidential. About 300 women attended, and one lady stood and said, I just want to know how to get in your heads as men, because it's very difficult. I was dating this guy before I got married to him, and we were hanging out and doing things together. Now I want to go to church with the kids and him, and he wants to sleep or go out with the boys. How do I get him to speak? I've talked to him and told him to talk to me, and he's not listening. Like, what's wrong with this guy? And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, look, I think the killer move for a lot of us would be if you show interest in the things that interest us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say if I used to be very big, and now I try to run. So when I wake up and I want to go for a jog, if I was dating myself and our woman, I'd say, babe, wait for me. I'll grab my sneakers so we run together. Somewhere along our running together, we'll get tired and walk. Then we will talk in that space.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yes.
In the state of, you're back, we need to talk. It's freaking frightening. I'm like, what about what? I'm tired. I just want to sleep,
Yeah.
So if you could have these deep or even shallow conversations in the space where we are ourselves, then it comes out better. But if you call me and say, we need to talk, I start panicking.
By the way, even me, if you send me a text and say, we need to talk, I'd be like, Eric, what's going on?
Exactly.
I'd call instantly.
Coming off from what he said, I think it's what women struggle with. In the office place, you're CEO, you're director, you're manager. Then you come home and you're still a director and a manager. You're telling, you're directing. But, we are dating, we are married. We're not in an office environment to be told. We're here to just
But let me
talk.
tell you, women, especially when you're married and you're running a house, you're the admin. You have lists, gas, toilet paper, who is going on leave, the child needs shorts, oh, you're going for tennis, like admin, M-Pesa who, so even you slot into the system. Now,
Admin stops with shopping, toiletries, household. When we come to both of us, we are just man and woman. No titles, no expectations. We're just us. And that's the thing we forget.
Okay.
We carry on these titles. And so like he talked about, the woman was saying, I've told him, why are you telling? When did you have a conversation? When you speak.
Also, the other thing I've come to learn, and these I learned the hard way. Remember, I was giving a story how I made a list about a woman I wanted. And then 6 months in, I was not finding the woman, and then I had to scrutinize the list. And after scoring a measly 4%, I decided to become what was on the list.
4% on your own list.
Yes. So then I decided to become the things I had wanted, because you attract who you are. I want to just encourage men who are watching, or the women who are watching who love them, to learn to get better. Better is good. Just express yourself a little bit more. Speak up. You can try. I am upset. Say it. Say, oh, I don't feel respected that way.
Okay.
Or I don't feel you spoke to me well. This
I'm
thing
uncomfortable in this
or this thing,
conversation.
or I don't like your friends coming over on Fridays. Or I don't like you going out on Fridays, or I'd like to have you around more. Say it. So Because we keep lumping all this pressure on women. Mwanamke asifanye hivi, mwanamke afanye hivi, mwanamke akuje hivi. No. Men also, the onus is on you to get better. It's 2019, the year of the Lord, for crying out loud. So lose that belly, brush your teeth, change that socks, read a book, speak. I mean, you're not a mountain, for crying out loud. You're a human being. Express yourself.
Okay.
So that the woman you are with can understand
better
you
understand you.
Because who else would you want to do life with? We
Yes.
can't be practicing mutism. The other person is asking you questions. Well, no. So
you're
men need to, and you can improve. We are the only animals on the planet Earth who can plan and get better. A goat cannot plan of what it's going to eat on Tuesday.
That's true.
Or where it will go on holiday. You can affect change today.
Yes.
What do you do for your own mental health? You seem very stable. I don't think you're hacking people on the side.
I think what has really helped me, and I think can help a whole lot of men, I have tried to connect so much with God. I've tried to connect so much with God and read God's word and understood what God says about me as a man. Okay? And I pray quite a bit.
I want to know what God says about you as a man. Just two things.
No, in the Bible.
Just two things.
That
two
you are the
things.
foundation, that it puts
Okay.
you first, and the foundation protects and holds the building together. That the woman came second, it doesn't mean that she's subservient to you, it just means you play different roles.
Okay.
So you are the foundation. Then the woman is put on you, and then you're protecting the
Ladies,
foundation.
he's single.
So I think a lot of men, again, who are going through depression or stress, if you would care, again, to read the Bible. I know it sounds so cliche.
No, but if it's working for you, it's
It
working
worked
for you.
me. So, read the Bible. God has some amazing ideas about life. In fact, there's a scripture that says that God should teach you how to live. So he does teach you how to live. So there's so much about your manhood besides your penis and how strong your thrusts are.
And the money.
Or money,
Yes,
or
and the
the
vehicle.
breadth of your biceps and the vehicle you drive.
Yes.
There's so much more to life and manhood than that.
Okay. What do you do? I really like that. What do you do?
I think, firstly, I have people who speak into my life. People who, when I meet them, I can be vulnerable and they can tell me as it is. And that includes my wife. But I think the one thing that
I like that you said people.
Yes.
So the job is not just on your wife. It's not just on Chico. Okay.
I have some men and also some lady friends who actually speak and tell you the truth as it is.
Nice.
But I think the biggest thing is taking back your manhood. We give back, our manhood has been taken from us by our fathers, society. In that situation whereby you're complaining, you've lost your power, But as a man, you are the king, you're the warrior, you're the lover. And I think it's understanding that take it back. Rather than simply complaining, take back your manhood.
What does that look like? Like one or two things to take it back.
Meaning, in a situation whereby, you see something is happening and you start to complain, as a man, take initiative. Do something about it. If you don't like something, say it. Rather than keeping quiet, bottling, and then one day, maybe she comes and she gives you salt that's a bit, meat that's a bit too salty, then you just lash out. Yet it all began by a simple, you could begin by saying, listen, I don't like the way you did this. The way your friends came over, they parked in my parking slot. I came in, I couldn't sit here. I had to hide in my bedroom like a clanday. This is my home. Tell me so that I can, so that I can also stay away from home,
Okay.
So I think taking back your manhood, knowing that you have power, you can speak. You can actually create your manhood. You can create the home you want. Don't give that power away to others, to your in-laws, to your wife to do it. You are a co-creator of that home. You're also a creator of your own life. So take back your manhood and stop complaining and do something about it. Yes.
So that has been one episode of Dadasphere Chats. Please feel free to share with us any comments you might have, any suggestions for topics, people maybe you want to hear from. Let me know, valentine.njoroge@gmail.com, and I can't wait to hear from you.